Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Dozens of metro mechanics have walked off the job, calling for a pay rise to curb the growing number of workers leaving for higher paying roles. It's the latest chapter in a series of public transport woes, with the union claiming the industry is in dire straits.
Mechanics calling for a 43% pay rise, hoping to drive change for those who keep our buses running.
It's simply being underfunded and driven into the ground by Michael Ferguson and Jeremy Rockcliffe.
Taking to the main road of Moona, calling for Metro to be funded, fixed and saved. The union saying they're being paid 30% less than their colleagues in the private sector.
If these funds don't come forward to ensure that we have the rates of pay to keep people in Metro, to get them in the door, there simply won't be a mechanical workforce.
We've had a 60% turnover of our staff in the workshop and we're currently facing 30% vacancies.
Labor jumping on board, arguing the government needs to do more and soon.
We need to build Metro up. It's an essential public service that many Tasmanians rely upon.
The state government says it's shocked at the union's proposed pay rise and maintains Metro is not for sale, adding its focus is on modernising the fleet and supporting workers.
I'm encouraging Metro and the union to sit down at the negotiating table to work through their differences, noting that a 43% pay rise is something that no other Tasmanian worker is getting.
Metro says it's negotiating with unions on a new agreement which is fair and reasonable, adding it's taken progressive steps to approve a salary boost which would see some engineers receive a 10% increase. But the union warning a better offer will tempt these mechanics elsewhere.
They've already been leaving and they'll continue to leave. This is dire straits.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
A bushfire advice alert remains in place for residents near Coles Bay. The Tasmania Fire Service says there's no immediate threat from the blaze that forced many to flee their homes on Tuesday. Those in the area are being urged to monitor conditions, with around 35 firefighters still working to contain the bushfire.
It's slowly moving north, but there's nothing in its path, and that's an area we're going to consolidate tomorrow, but we've been consolidating the southern edge of the fire today.
Backburning efforts were carried out today and water bombers brought in to help bring the blaze under control. An information session has been held at the Coles Bay Community Hall to update residents on the situation. Local charities are reporting unprecedented demand for relief services as soaring cost of living pressures hit budgets. 2 organisations are expanding their operations to help those in the community struggling to get by.
After many years renting, Loaves and Fishes is now the proud owners of this Devonport warehouse. It secures the long-term future of the much-needed service.
It's an opportunity for us to make sure that young people, families and future generations know what it is to eat healthy, nutritious food. So this is a great day for us here.
1 in 5 Tasmanians are struggling to put food on the table every day. The charity provides emergency food relief to 300 community organisations. $1 million was provided for the purchase, a bipartisan effort from the federal and state governments.
Through the help of the Tasmanian government through facilitating this payment, we now have a situation where Loaves and Fishes settled yesterday. They now own this building.
It's actually making sure that children across Tasmania, adults across Tasmania, have access to food that is so nutritional to them.
Meanwhile, in Glenorchy, the St Vincent de Paul Society will develop a new integrated hub, putting a majority of its support and emergency relief services under one roof, with more people than ever requesting the services of Vinnies to get by day to day.
The call on us for greater support is higher than ever before.
The hub aims to ensure the needs of Tasmanians are met by offering a more efficient service. Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmania News.
Confusion is growing over whether federal funding for the Macquarie Point Stadium will be exempt from our GST share after the Prime Minister appeared to rule it out. While not explicitly saying no, Anthony Albanese told The Advocate the current rules around the GST formula apply everywhere. State Labor believes the comments are telling.
Very unlikely to get a GST exemption, and I think that just speaks to the government's handling of the whole matter right from the start when they didn't negotiate this in the original agreement.
We've documented it appropriately. We look forward to proper consideration. The state is better off with a GST exemption being provided for this project. That's what we've asked for. That's what Dean Winter should be asking for.
The Deputy Premier says he's yet to receive an answer from Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers. The coroner has made no further recommendations following an investigation into the death of a former Launceston sex worker. Jingai Zhang was killed by German national Tobias Pick on Boxing Day in 2020. Pick pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was given a 5-year sentence. Coroner Robert Webster conveying his condolences to the family of Ms Zhang. Tasmania's streetlight replacement program is looking a little brighter as specialists continue to swap out mercury vapour lamps for more sustainable LED models. The new lights use over 80% less power and have a longer life cycle. Around 1,000 old lamps, making up more than half of the state's streetlights, have been removed so far.
The program of supplying started well over 12 months ago, but the installation side of it only commenced 2 months ago. So we're well into the program now.
The state government says the program has also created a dozen jobs with the potential for more in the future. A revolutionary new product will be utilised to tackle prostate cancer in Tasmania. It will help more patients diagnose and manage the disease closer to home. Until now, it needed to be shipped from interstate.
Rod was first diagnosed with prostate cancer a few weeks back. Today, he's part of a revolutionary new cancer diagnostic program.
I probably prefer to win lotto, but no, this is good. I think it's a step forward. I'm not nervous about the process at all.
Illuccix is the only diagnosing agent to be registered by the Therapeutic Goods Administration, used in the vital detection and staging of prostate cancer. And it's now available here at Q-Scan in Hobart.
In order to be able to provide this scan or this service to males within Tasmania and within other regions within Australia, we had to fly the product in. And with that, there's all sorts of issues with logistics.
Now a generator can make the product in just 15 minutes, a much needed service given the rate of men diagnosed.
On average, about 600 males in Tasmania each year are diagnosed with prostate cancer.
While around 6,000 Tasmanian men have been impacted by the disease, making it the leading cause of cancer-related deaths.
Every step forward with treating, diagnosing prostate cancer is incredibly important. We're losing around 3,500 men every year to prostate cancer, and that's advanced forms of...
The take-home message this Prostate Cancer Awareness Month:
don't fool around, get it checked out.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Launceston has come alive to celebrate the spring equinox at this year's Junction Arts Festival. The event aiming to be a playground of all things arts and music. Our reporter Mark Zeta is at Prince's Square. Mark, what's the vibe like at the moment?
Good evening, Kim. It's a hive of activity and excitement here at Prince's Square for the second day of the festival. There's a variety of theatrical, musical, dance and art installations to meet everyone's needs, including what's been billed as a rock show spectacular featuring over 50 performers. This year's theme draws on the extravagant Dali party of the 70s, organisers asking revellers to dress up in a way that explores the irrational, absurd and the otherworldly. And there's more opportunity for people to come down here with this year's festival extended for a 5th day. Kim, I'm going to head off and join the mosh pit.
You look like you're having a lot of fun. Thank you there. That was Mark Zeta live from Junction. As National Dementia Action Week continues, the City of Hobart is looking to break down the stigma of the illness through its dementia-friendly cafe at Mathers House. The site, designed to help those living with the condition feel safe and secure. Dementia patient Tony Shea is a regular customer, with his wife saying the space has made him more comfortable going out in public.
In just general public, it gets embarrassing for them, so they tend to isolate themselves. With a Dementia Cafe, everybody's the same, so he doesn't feel uncomfortable.
It's important that they can know once a month they can come to our cafe and talk to like-minded people.
The cafe opens for 2 hours on the last Wednesday of each month.
He might have had offers to play from across the country, but Lauderdale's newest recruit says he's glad to be back in Tasmania. Former Essendon, Carlton and GWS player Andrew Phillips has signed on with his childhood club for next season. The ruckman says the opportunity to return home was too good to refuse.
Obviously chatting to a lot of the players and coaches and stuff now, I think we'll give next year a really good shake, and was really promising and exciting for me.
We've got a really young list, so trying to make those guys the best they can and using the resources that we have, and he's definitely one of them.
The coach says discussions are continuing with former Brisbane Lions and Lauderdale player Mitch Robinson about playing next season. Meanwhile, North Launceston and Kingborough are undergoing final preparations ahead of this weekend's TSL decider. The Tigers say Kieran Lovell will play, while the Northern Bombers concede they have difficult selection calls to make.
Eyeing off the trophy, the Tigers and Bombers have TSL glory in their sights. Both coaches expecting a physical battle on the tight confines of North Hobart Oval.
If we're able to take territory and those sorts of things, we feel that suits the way that we play.
It doesn't change the game. It obviously makes it a little bit different the way you do it, but at the end of the day, you still got to stick to your strength.
The Tigers captain is hoping to exercise last year's grand final demons.
That's sat in the guts of a lot of the boys, and you've always wanted to drive and get back to get another crack at that.
Star midfielder Kieran Lovell will play in the big game. The minor premier says he's shaken off his semi-final injury.
Basically did a full session last night, which is really good, and he'll freshen up tonight, and he'll be ready to go.
The Northern Bombers have their own selection headaches. With the Devils season over, a number will jump back into the side.
We're playing senior football and we've got to pick our best team, and unfortunately for a couple of guys, they'll miss out.
An 8-0 third quarter from the Tigers sunk North Launceston the last time they met. The coach confident that was a one-off.
What you saw in the third quarter 2 weeks ago won't happen again.
Despite making 9 of the past 10 deciders, they're claiming the underdog status.
It's pretty strong, and it's a bit of a sense of going down with nothing to lose.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers fought back after being stunned early by a red-hot Adelaide 36ers side. A previously winless Adelaide jumped to an 18-point lead midway through the second quarter, with points hard to come by for Tasmania. Jack McVeigh and Milton Doyle carried the scoring load as they fought the way back, hitting the lead by the end of the third. It was tight right until the end, but the Jackies pulled off an upset win, 86-82. And there's been some great results for junior Tasmanian cyclists today in Victoria. Launceston's Caleb McKenzie has won the under-15 boys national title, while Hobart's Jonas Shelverton took a bronze medal in the under-17s.
Good evening. Well, how about that today? Snow on the mountain and just 12 in Hobart. Launceston 17 was the state's high. Devonport and Burnie both 15 today. Temperatures below average over the west and south. Butler's Gorge 5, Lyowini 6, Warra to 8, Grove 11 degrees, Bushy Park and Strawn 13, Flinders Island 14, King Island and Lowhead 15. The westerly winds pushed scattered cloud over Tasmania today. A few showers too, 14 millimetres the best fall at Mount Reid. Low-level cloud found its way over Victoria and parts of New South Wales, an area of upper cloud over WA, and just a puff or two over the top end. Tomorrow a high dominates proceedings over eastern Australia. Trough extends over the west and north of the country. West and northwesterlies at 30 knots over the south tomorrow, with lighter northwest-southwesterly winds over eastern waters. So we do have a strong wind warning for southern waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. And we have a frost warning for the northwest coast, central north, Midlands and upper Derwent Valley. So a cold evening, 4 overnight for Hobart, 16 tomorrow, bit of cloud about, Huonville 15, 2 overnight for Campania, 17 the maximum. Launceston a high of 17 after a cold start, 15 for Devonport and Georgetown, partly cloudy. 14 for Burnie, a shower or two for Strawn, 13 the maximum, 15 the high for Wynyard. St Helens partly cloudy and 16, 17 for both Swansea and Port Arthur. On Saturday, fine and partly cloudy apart from a shower over the west. A mostly fine sunny day on Sunday, Swansea and Strawn looking at 20 degrees. And on Monday, 22 expected in St Helens and Launceston, a shower over the west and possibly Hobart. 25 and sunny in Perth, fine in Adelaide, partly cloudy for Melbourne with 16 degrees. A cloud or two over Sydney and Brisbane. Partly cloudy and 8 in Hobart, 11 right now in Launceston, Devonport clear and 10 degrees. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, Kim, for my footy tips. Obviously you're not even going to be here. What's your story?
I've got a better offer tomorrow night, Merv. You'll be right. And that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.